GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Hello everyone. And welcome to this discussion only on Neelavelicham. It's lovely to see these posters behind you. And I have a question from, of course, this is Vaikom Muhammad Basheer's short story that then became a 60s film, and now this is the second remake as a film. Before that, when you look at the Neelavelicham, the 60s film, the opening, you see this. You see white sari. I heard anklet bells there.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that image? I mean, like, why can't a ghost have a wardrobe? Why white sari? Why?
We have an answer for that in the film.
Okay, you have that.
Yes, we have a very clear-cut answer in the film.
Okay, so you can't say that now.
No, we want you to watch it and find out.
Okay. No, but I'm saying it's not just Bhargavi Nilayam, it's every ghost film, white sari.
We
it's
have
like-
an answer for all of this in the movie.
Okay, good. Now, so that's
I'm glad you opened with this question.
okay, good.
And it's actually the reason for how it went on to become like why a ghost looks a certain way. It was one of the first horror films that was ever made in Malayalam. And I think
It was the first, right?
the first.
Yeah.
And I think the image stuck. But there is a very logical, romantic reason behind it.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
A reason that's logical and romantic.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's that's quite a weird combination. But logical in the sense I'm talking about technically how it came about in the script.
Yeah.
But it's a very romantic reason. as well.
Nice. No, why do you think the original Bhargavi Nilayam became such a big blockbuster? Yes, first hit horror film, etc. But something appealed to people about it, right? Have you heard from earlier generations what really made it such a success?
Like almost everyone in Kerala knows that name. Like people who haven't watched that movie also, they know that name. It was a huge blockbuster back then in 1964. And even now when we look at it, it's technically brilliant. Even after 58 years, we were trying to find what more can we do for this. In 1964, they have made a movie with all technical, whatever options they had, they have used it. The way they have constructed the sets,
Right.
and the way they have used the like the lighting. Like they had limitations. It was a black and white movie, and even in that, we feel the visual experience. We don't have a very good print on YouTube or anywhere, but
Right.
we know it was shot by Vincent Master, who is technically brilliant.
Right.
And he was lucky to have Mr. Vaikom Muhammad Basheer with him on the sets. And that was a brilliant movie. So it was a challenge for us to adapt that same screenplay and make a movie with all the technical advancements that we have today.
Right.
It was still a challenge because even after 58 years, we don't have much to do more than that because they have done it,
Everything.
way ahead of their time.
Yeah. So, Aashiq, at what point did you say, I want to go back to the book and make a movie? And have you given a bit of a spin to the book, your own angle or spin to the book, or have you stuck to the short story, or have you stuck fairly closely to it?
We have added some layers to the original screenplay. We have eliminated some scenes. We have tried to make our own version of Neelavelicham.
Okay.
Actually, the movie was named Bhargavi Nilayam back then.
Yeah.
Because they can't use colors, so Neela is blue, right? So they changed the title to Bhargavi Nilayam. The Bhargavi Nilayam became the most popular word of a haunted house. So what we have tried is to bring out the, actually it's a I don't know whether we have that kind of genre blending screenplays in India, because it's a romantic horror investigative thriller. That's what we have tried to do. I have an additional writer for the film, who is Rishikesh.
Yeah.
He have brought every details from the works of
Basheer.
Bashir, Muhammad Basheer, and bring it into the screenplay.
Yeah, you mean other works of
Other works
that is
also.
not just Neelavelicham, but
yeah,
also
yeah.
other works of
Yeah,
him.
Neelavelicham original, Bhargavi Nilayam original screenplay is one of the material that we used.
Yeah. You mentioned all these layers, but another lovely layer about the movie is that, I mean, I've never seen this in any ghost story. The writer, and because of his loneliness, he actually starts talking to
Yes.
the spirit. That's such a lovely layer, because you also, are you like, is he imagining the spirit, or is he really talking to the spirit? Is such a lovely layer.
Yeah.
Like, how do you see that too? You know?
For me, it was very tough on the sets to perform without someone
Reacting to him.
reacting to whatever I am telling. We took time. We did a few days workshop before that, because it's very hard to enact a scene as if I'm talking to someone when no one is there. So, but I think like that is the best thing about Vaikom Muhammad Basheer. Like he has these crazy ideas, and this Anuragathinte Dinangal and Neelavelicham, it was the part of Anuragathinte Dinangal, and a major portion of Neelavelicham was combined, and they made this script.
Right.
Bhargavi Nilayam back
Yeah,
then.
and he wrote the script himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did it. I've done like long research about Mr. Vaikom Muhammad Basheer, and I'm amused how the way he thinks about everything. And I've seen documentaries about him. I've read almost all the books. From my childhood, I've been reading his books because my father had a collection of his books. Not every book, but like almost 75% of his works,
Right.
he had it. So I read it when I was in school, and later on, when I started buying books, I bought another, like the remaining 25%, and I read. And it's so much relatable. He made colloquial language, like he blended colloquial language and literature. I think he has contributed many new words to
Yeah,
Malayalam
terminologies,
literature or vocabulary.
Jangadapum Gudujungo.
Yeah, he has these
Badukus.
badukus. Yeah, kalla badukus. So there's really adorable terms that he has, come up with.
So this is not Vaikom Muhammad Basheer's autobiography or something.
Yeah.
And this particular character in this movie, it's not mentioned that it's Vaikom Muhammad Basheer. Like we are calling him this character Sahityagaran, the writer.
Yeah, the writer, the Madhu
And it
character.
can be
Yes.
it can be any writer.
Right.
When we refer Anuragathinte Dinangal, and so Rishi, as far as I know, Rishi has referred at least 9 books of Vaikom Muhammad Basheer and adapted few points from all those books, and he has included it in Neelavelicham's script.
Yeah.
It's
As
not
part
a
of-
remake of Bhargavi Nilayam, actually. It's a reinterpretation of Neelavelicham, the
Right.
script. For me, it was challenging, but first few days, we took a lot of time to get into the track.
Yeah,
and
we thought it's only just one actor will finish it first, but it was so difficult to, shoot. Actually, we were
What was difficult?
to shoot one actor
Okay.
only.
Okay.
So it was for us.
Was it getting monotonous? Is that what you're saying?
I
No,
don't
if it
know.
was
Not
2 or
just
3
that.
actors, we can go for a 2-shot, mid-shot,
Oh, like that.
and
Okay, to
suggestion
kind
shot,
of figure
close-ups,
ways to
and it's
shoot
done.
this one
Yeah,
actor.
I was.
This is one person.
Yeah.
In a very confined space as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
See, as an actor, when I speak for him and when I look at him perform, and I'm like, it's so difficult. You don't have somebody giving back energy. You don't have somebody reacting to what you're doing.
Right.
So what are you reacting to?
Yeah.
There's nothing you're reacting to. I'm like, and it's a one-man show. Like it's Tovi shouldering 1 hour of the beginning. There are a few other characters, but it's him and his maybe his imagination, maybe his paranoia, maybe his desperation or his heartbreak. Whatever, it's him wallowing in all of those emotions, him trying to figure out his mind, his heart. It is so difficult. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh
And-
my God. I'm like,
And the day before the shoot, I joined the sets 2 days before we started shooting, and the day before the shoot, they sent me to a house which is situated in a beach. And it's actually a resort, but it was closed down by then because
Of
it's
COVID.
closed during the no, not during monsoon season. They
It's
close
closed
it
down.
down. So I was the only person staying in that old resort. It's not a huge resort, but 3-4 rooms, and facing the beach. And from evening 7 or 7:30 to next day morning, I was alone in that old property. So I went to the beach, went for a walk, and for me it was very helpful to like, what will someone
You have
do?
that video with you.
Yeah,
He sent me
and what
video.
happened was
Rained.
it rained,
And there was major lightning.
thunder, lightning, and
All
along
those
with
dramas
that
were
the
there.
power went off. So
This is
I was
this is really like some destiny preparing you to make this movie,
So
you
I-
know, just like
that's when I realized, okay, I started like when no one is around, when I'm sure that nobody is watching me, nobody is judging me, I'll start like anyone who is alone will start talking to themselves.
Maybe because you're scared also. Like,
yeah.
to
No,
kill
but
the
that's a beautiful
silence.
point.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is a beautiful point because we're not afraid of judgment, no?
Yeah,
So it's like,
there's
yeah.
nobody.
And the network was very bad there. So
You
I,
couldn't call anyone.
so I read Vaikom Muhammad Basheer's books. So I read it out loud. Nobody is listening to it. And I went for a walk in the beach. We shot in that particular beach, and 58 years back, Egandhira Bhardiram, that song was shot in the same beach. I
Wow.
stayed in that beach, that particular beach.
All of this to get
So
coincidence.
I had never spent so much time alone in a remote area. I have never done that in my life. So after this, I knew, okay, when someone is alone, they'll start talking to themselves. Maybe that's what happened when the Sahityakaran came to the.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
Maybe
I
it's
think
his
I call him
imagination.
Pavapatta Sahityakaran. So it's like a
Poor guy.
poor guy, you know, like a.
Spare me.
Yeah. Tovino, you and Bashir share a birthday.
Yes.
How strange is that?
No, that's great. Like
When did you find out and like you knew this long ago or only now you found out?
I knew this long ago, but at some point of time I forgot it. And just right before the shooting of the movie, I was doing all this research about him, reading anything available on the internet about him. And that's when this struck me again. Okay, we share the same birthday. So I believe it's a destiny to
You
play
have
the.
to play him.
Yeah,
No way.
We were actually planning to release the movie on the January
On
21st.
January
21st.
21st.
Yeah, but we couldn't.
You couldn't do that. Yeah.
But we released a poster.
Yeah.
His first look.
Aashiq Mayanadi was written by Shyam Pushkaran.
Dinesh Nair, yeah.
Virus again by Mohsin Farari and then
Sharf Uswas.
Sharf Uswas. Naradan Unni R. This one you have a co-writer, Hrishikesh Bhaskaran. What is your philosophy with writers? Because you know some directors like to stick to one writer and kind of like be with them because they get along very well. What is your philosophy with writers? You just like are you waiting for somebody to bring material to you so that you can do something or
No, actually, I don't have a philosophy or, it's just a comfort. If I'm feeling comfortable with someone, I'll start working with them. In this project, Rishi, I know him for years, so I was very comfortable with him. And take Sham, Dilesh, or anyone, they all are my friends, and we are in a special comfort zone. So we, get along, and that's the philosophy.
yeah. But do you have something like this person might do this little better or that person is probably going to be more suited for this zone, something like that or
No.
No. Okay, all right. Hrishikesh is not this is his first time that he's writing a screenplay. So what made you so like okay, this is the guy for this, what gave you that confidence?
Actually, he's a very good reader, especially, Bashir's literature. He knows everything. And he's a good researcher also. So first, when I thought of, reimagining, actually, I'll use that term, reimagining the text, the first thing came to me was him.
Okay.
Because this thing need a lot of research.
Right.
Because you can't just take the screenplay and go and shoot it. Because it needed that kind of research and additions. So I thought he was the best one to do this.
Right.
And he proved it.
Right. So at any point did you consider, okay, there's already a 1960s set version of Neelavelicham. Did you ever think, should we bring this to the contemporary times? Did that thought ever cross you?
Yeah. Me and Sham actually were, discussing to bring
Sham
this,
Pushkaran.
Sham Pushkaran, to bring the entire thing to the contemporary world. But somehow I didn't, I was not convinced. I want to do this in the 60s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's why we have you here in your white sari and your anklets, which I can hear, which I hope the mic has picked up, because I want the audience to hear it as well, because you've taken trouble and nobody can see it anymore. So. Most of your films, you play fairly contemporary characters.
Yes.
Is this the first time you're playing a non-contemporary character?
No, not really. Actually, I've done two other remakes, Neelatamara and Nidra.
Okay.
But Nidra was, again, a very, not a contemporary character, though. She was a small town girl. But Neelatamara was actually, Sharate Ammani was a very village girl kind of, And I really enjoy that because it challenges me. It's not my natural body language. And it's interesting that I want people to see me like that also. And I started off with that, with when I did Varsha in Shama Prasad's Ritu, and immediately after that I did Sharate Ammani. And immediately after that, I did like this all gray shaded character. So, that's what I want to do.
Right.
If people would let me. But yeah, I have been quite lucky like that, if you ask me. Like, because when I did Ashwati in Nidra, I did Tessa from Trainer to Female Courtier. Like, when I did Arani Padmini, I did this tomboy character. Immediately, I did Chiragudu Navagal, and I did this very village belle character. So, I have been able to mix it up a bit. And I find it very interesting also. Even though I have just had about like 8 years of my growing up years in Kerala, I think somewhere deep inside, I'm a Malayali, like pakka.
Right. So a question to like both of you in terms of body language or acting or whatever. Now, you said you had to change your body language because you're like a very westernized
Yes,
kind of person,
yes.
right? Can you name one thing that you had to change to become Bhargavi?
So, but I think there's another thing to it. That Bhargavi, even though is this woman from the 60s, she was way ahead of her times.
In terms of, yeah.
And also, Basheer's heroines have that zing about them, they stand out. So there needed to be this very fine balance between, I didn't just want to do a very, I don't want to mimic the actors of the 60s. Because I think their body grammar was a little loud because, cinema was just evolving
Right.
from the theaters and it was a little loud at that point. So when I looked at Bhargavi, I didn't want to imitate them. I didn't want to mimic that body language. I wanted it to be very natural only. I wanted her to be very human only. But even then, if you see me now, I'm all over the place. So maybe that I kind of cut down. And Aashiq was very clear as to how he wanted her to
Right.
smile and how he wanted her to tilt her face. And so that was very designed. And we stuck to it throughout. So he would go for retakes if he didn't get the exact angle, the exact smile, because I think he had a complete palette of what he wanted, like everything
Was already
he
here.
was already there. So it was just directing us to that point. So
Right,
we
right.
very clear.
Yeah. So Tovino, when there are two ways to play this character. One is to say this is the script, I'm following the script and I'm playing Basheer as is written in the script. The other way is to say I have there's a script, but I also know so much more about Basheer because I've seen this, seen this, seen this. So I'm going to add all that to this to the Basheer in the script and play the character. Which did you do?
I think mostly the second one. Like we did a lot of research on him, and from the photographs, from the videos of him, whichever are available, we have seen the way he holds his hand like this with the dhoti in his hands, and the way he walks. So even though it's not mentioned in this particular story, like it is mentioned but not detailed in this particular story, there is a backstory for this character, which happens right before this particular events, this particular
The present.
the present. I mean, in the movie, like in 1964, when he is coming to a new village and when he starts living in Bhargavi Nilayam, right before that he actually came here to get over the trauma he had from a heartbreaking breakup.
Okay.
Like, he had, like, as far as we know, he was depressed and he wanted to get over that. That's why he shifted the place and he came here. So, as Rima said, we cannot take the direct, like, we cannot mimic Madhu sir or Nasir sir or the actors of that time because, as she said, the cinema was evolving. Now, after 58 years, the performances that we see are much more subtle. At the same time, it shouldn't look like someone in 2023 is telling the like narrating. It's narrated by someone in 2023, but it's not. We are not speaking as if someone from 2023 speaks. So, but it shouldn't look over dramatic also. So we had to find that balance. So for that we had a 3 days workshop. We all sat together, read the script, we read the lines over and over. And even when the shoot started, I joined the 2 days before that, and we had sessions in the evenings. How to walk, how to modulate. It's definitely we have taken the cinematic liberty to perform, but at the same time, it's neither 2023 or 1964 movie.
Yeah.
We have imagined, we have come into a conclusion that, and when we read the newspapers, we had a lot of such properties on sets. When we look at it, the way we use our vocabulary was very different. Nowadays we say "valare adhigam," but back then I read it "valare dharalam." So the language, the literature also has evolved. So, and if we try and follow that strictly, it will look over dramatic or odd to audience of this time. So people watching this movie in 2023, we are trying to recreate this 1964 incidents, and we had to try that balance between that. That is a cinematic liberty we took. And it shouldn't look odd. At the same time, it shouldn't look like 2023 person speaking.
So Aashiq, I saw that extraordinary first poster. I don't know if it was the first or which number it was, because that was the first poster I saw of Neelavelicham, and that was Tovino standing framed by bougainvilleas. And there was this very soft yellow light falling on him, and it made it look so romantic. You know, that image was like so romantic, like as in like a, I don't mean love romantic, but like in a very romantic era kind of sense, you know. When you and Girish talked about this film, Girish Gangadharan, your cinematographer, because your film's name itself has a color. So what was the
Brief to him.
palette, the brief, or how did you guys say, okay, this is how I want to, make this film?
See, actually, I have to start from my art director, who is Jyoti Shankar. He started, working on the palette first, and I contributed Bougainvillea to him.
Okay.
And it's actually a collective effort. So my art director, the production designer, have done an amazing job for Girish Gangadharan and me. Because the location was very important, the period setting was very important, and the bougainvilleas.
And it's a Basheeran image.
Yeah, the Bashir,
the
that
bougainvillea.
it's very popular.
Yeah.
Like he used to love bougainvilleas and mangosteens and stuff like that. So we thought of adding that element to the this thing. And about the romantic angle, actually Bashir have romanticized everything, not the love affairs or something. He have romanticized horror, solitude, and everything. He talks to every creatures there. He talks to dogs. He talks to everyone. So the yeah, Bashirian romance is not just a love affair.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a world. The romantic world of Bashir is it's about everything related to his life, world. Yeah, that's romance for him.
And that's so when you said this is my palette, did you everything is soft, right? The light is soft in this film, if I'm not mistaken, because the
Not
trailer
that
was
soft because it was a challenge for Girish to light up the because the entire movie the almost 70% or 80% of the movie is completely night.
yeah.
So it was very challenging for him to light the entire compound. It's a huge compound. So it's not that soft, but we have used a filter
Okay, okay.
to like bring that vintage
Look.
look. Yeah, yeah.
So, Rima, off-screen dance is a big part of your life, but I don't recall seeing you do too many big dance numbers
Yeah.
in films. And
Yeah.
in this, you have a massive dance number.
Yeah.
It's like full on, like sets,
Yeah.
like big dancers behind you, like Roshan on the
Yeah.
sitar. I'm sorry, but I just like when I saw Roshan on the sitar, I just smiled because it was like such an un-Roshan thing
Image.
to do. Like, they're like, they're doing this. It's there. What was it like? Was it like, oh my God, finally I got a big dance number?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like how lucky am I? And that too in 2023, when we're kind of in a space where dance, music is still a very relevant part, but dance is not something that is, visible as much as it used to
Yeah,
be, like
yeah.
maybe 5 years back.
Yeah, actually,
in Malayalam cinema.
if I may interrupt,
Yeah?
actually, even like in other cinemas, I find a lot of directors saying, should I have songs, should I not have songs? But even if I have songs, maybe I'll just have montage songs.
Yes, yes.
Like the lip sync and all is kind of
Is
slowly.
kind of gone, but then even a Telugu and a Tamil industry still has, they have those dance numbers, like they have a dance number for a dance number. But here, it's a dance number, and I'm damn lucky to be in it. And we went all out with the shoot of that song, like with the costumes. I think Jyotish Shankar we have 3 different setups.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. But then I think the song is also used to to tell the romance between. That is where it takes off.
Yeah.
So we've used it. We've used the song as a narrative tool to build the romance, because the old movie was almost 245.
240. Yeah.
240, and so we have encapsulated we've trickled down a lot of the romance into the songs. More than with scenes, because so we've used the songs as a narrative tool. It's a very important part of the storytelling.
Right.
And maybe that's why we've indulged in it a bit, because we really don't know when we'll get to do a song like this. We had Baburaj Master's
Songs.
gems and Bhaskaran Master's lyrics, so we made use of it.
So was that deliberate to use Baburaj Master's?
No, it's in the film only.
Right.
Yeah, we use the same songs.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
you didn't want new songs for this. You wanted the very same,
Yeah, same
the
tune.
older songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
any-
us,
was very
Malayalis,
Of
for
course.
us Malayalis, those songs, the whole album
course.
is very familiar.
No, I know, but I'm saying when you're making it a different way, like you didn't ever think I should try and get Bijibal to do new songs or something like that. No,
No,
that.
actually, he was asking me to,
that.
let's do new songs. He was very hesitated to, touch the classic. But somehow, because I'm his friend and I already jumped into this thing, so he thought
He jumped
that-
along.
Yeah, yeah.
Tovino, you worked a lot with Aashiq. Is there a shorthand between you two? Is it like Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro? Like you just took one look at him and you know what he wants you to do. Is it like that now? Is it?
We have done
4 films.
Mayanati, Virus, Naradan and this. See, I think he brings out the best in me. That's why I love working with him. And all these 4 movies I'm playing entirely different characters.
yeah.
These 4 characters doesn't have anything in common.
Yeah.
So that's something an actor like me, I always wanted to keep myself unpredictable. Like in one
That's what he
movie.
keeps saying also. He wants to keep jumping genres all the time. Right? You keep saying that, right?
Like I
That-
remember during Maya Nadi, Shyam Pushkaran, he once told, the best thing about you is you are very unpredictable. People doesn't know what you are
In
going
real
to
life.
do.
No, it's going to do next.
Oh, what you're going to do next. Okay.
In my career, like but back then in 2017 when people look at my filmography, I had not done similar roles at all. But after Maya Nadi and once the success hits us, success is a trap. Like it will make producers telling us, so we are spending this much money on you. And at that particular point, I also thought, okay, it's my responsibility to make this movie work. And later, I understood I was falling into this trap. I was trying and doing similar characters or similar movies, which assures box office collection. But along that, I lost my unpredictability. That was my signature. That's what I believe. And during lockdown, I wanted to reinvent myself, reinvent my career, and then I started doing movies which makes me happy. And more than the result in box office, while we are working in the movie, if we are happy, if we are enjoying the process, that is a very satisfying experience.
Right.
And I'm looking for that kind of satisfaction, not to prove to anyone that I have this much box office. Box office doesn't matter. I'm a creative person. Business is not my job. I don't know anything about business. I do my work to my 100%. I put in my 100%
Right.
effort in everything. And I don't want to look similar or I don't want to act similar in every movie I do. So I play villain characters, I play supporting characters, I play lead roles.
Yeah, you were a dear friend. You were like a very,
Grey.
like this very straight. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't
I haven't
seen
watched it
but
yet.
Yeah.
That gives me a particular level of satisfaction. And Aashiq trusts me and gives me these kind of characters. Like he never gave me similar scenes or similar characters. He wanted me to play Matan in Mayanadi and a district collector in Virus and in Naran a news reporter and now
Basheer.
yeah
Writer.
so that's what I think for an actor, directors who bring out the best in them. So I have very good friends who are very good directors who can bring out the best in me.
He's already pitching for his next film. So this is like
I mean, you know
no, I'm
something.
kidding.
I think Aashiq is the only director with whom I have done 4 movies.
Yeah.
Is it?
Base
Rana?
Two.
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 Okay,
Okay,
this
okay.
മാത്രമേ
Yeah. But tell me one thing, Tovino. You just said this, and I'm curious. You said box office does not matter. Can that really be out of the equation when you're thinking? I mean, I completely
No,
understand where you're coming from.
It's none of my business. It's
But
producers.
can an actor be like that?
Yeah,
Nima,
I'm
do you
doing
have
that.
anything to say about that? It's.
I would actually want that to be the scenario.
I know. No. What he's
For
saying is
sure.
ideal, right? Like it's yes. I want to only showcase my creativity, sure. But can an actor be like that? Like every role is.
No, I after the lockdown, I decided to be like that, and it's working.
Wow, that's amazing.
And like it's a collective effort, and my effort for every movie is on the creative side. Business side, there are people who takes care of that.
Right. But when you pick a movie, do you also somewhere mentally make a calculation that is this movie going to reach an audience? That's what I'm asking. Like that many actors do that, by the
See,
way.
when I do a movie, I never think of the box office result.
Okay.
The whole work, it will remain even after
Yeah.
we perish.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. This is lovely. I mean, I hope you stay this way. This is just very
No,
nice to
you
hear from an
remember
actor.
we spoke during lockdown and I said the same things.
Yeah, but I was like, it's still there. That's nice, It's just like a
See, it's
because
all about finding our own happiness.
right.
I'm not in the rat race. I don't want to be in the rat race. So I'm working here. I'm living my dream life, and I don't want to be in the rat race. I don't want to prove anyone that I'm successful and happy. I am happy.
And as a woman who doesn't have that privilege, who is already, out of work because of the market value element, I don't think I don't even know if actresses will ever get there where we can, be that laid back and, because we're already in a challenging position where we have to make, prove that we have market value.
Yeah.
We're in that space. I would love to be just this creative person who who can come perform, because I'm sure every artist wants that, not just an actor, I'm saying a director.
Yeah, yeah.
Any, we want to give our full, and we would want our art to connect to an audience, irrespective of all these other frills. But it's a very utopian world, I think.
Yeah.
It's a long shot,
Yeah.
long way for us.
It's not that hard to believe because the thing is, like when you see something like Kala, for instance, that's not a hero role at all. Like you can't see too many heroes taking a role. It's not a sympathetic role. It's not something that the audience is going to say, oh, poor Tovino or something like that. In fact, they're going to go, poor the other guy. It's like something because you are actually going to a very dangerous territory of a very privileged person holding on to his privilege and like almost like separating somebody on the basis of their caste or whatever it is. That's a lot of actors would think
In
before
that movie,
taking.
I was one of the producers.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the bank statements. I haven't interfered in any of those
Anything,
things. I was just, I acted in that movie for free, and that was my investment. And
And it's now one of your best films, like you say.
yes,
Yeah.
so like after lockdown, when I decided to do that, when I cleared my mind from all these business box office things, I started enjoying my work even more. I started learning new things. I started exploring new territories. I started exploring my full potential. Look, I'm still trying and doing that. I'm learning new skills. For this movie, Ajayante Randamoshonam, I learned Kalaripayattu, and for this movie and before every movie, I take an acting workshop for 5 days so that I can prepare and do that. And I'm taking proper vacations nowadays. I used to work back to back. No, it was affecting me. It was affecting my peace of mind. Like an actor needs peace of mind,
Yeah, yeah.
so that he can be creative. And I'm not very good with numbers. So there are people who are good with numbers who can take care of all those things. Like I'm not the only person working in a movie. There are more than 100 people on every movie set, and everyone has their own job.
Yeah.
And I should concentrate more on my own job. And even though I'm doing small roles or supporting roles or villain roles, I'm doing lead roles, positive lead roles, and people are coming to theaters to watch those movies, and I have a bankability now.
Yeah.
Even though I did small roles, my bankability was not affected, and I don't want to be the biggest star. I want to be
An
a
actor.
good actor, and I'm trying and exploring whatever potential I have.
Do you think about numbers, Aashiq?
Yes.
No, when he's a producer, he should.
Yes, there was no hesitation at all. Yes, I love that.
Producers.
So
Obviously.
okay, for you it's important that it's like
very important.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of him, I don't have to
Yeah.
think of all those
He
things.
does the numbers job, you do the acting job.
And the best thing about him is he makes actors comfortable. Like from I know that. Like I remember him. One day the cameraman told me, Jayesh, he's a very good friend of us. Jayesh was telling, Toby, when you turn this particular turn, you just stay there for a moment and please catch the light. That's what he said. It was a good suggestion from a cameraman, from my point of view. But immediately I'm hearing Aashiq shouting, Jayesh, don't restrict my actors. If you want a rehearsal, you can ask him, he'll give you a rehearsal, you can light accordingly. Don't restrict my actors. Then I was like, oh my god, that's a huge responsibility. He's giving me full space, full freedom. So that's the way he carries us in his like hands. Like when an actor is comfortable, when an actor is not bothered about anything outside, that's a,
That's wonderful.
best space we can be in and be creative.
Right. Rima, you brought up an important point. You mean everybody from the outside looks at Malayalam cinema like this wonderful ecosystem that makes wonderful films, and like everyone's very friendly with each other and all that kind of stuff. But you recently, have talked about, a lot of things from the inside perspective about what it is like to be inside Malayalam cinema, and mostly about women being allowed to tell their own stories and things like that. Now, you've been producer, you've been an actor. Have you considered being a director?
Well, yeah.
Okay, there was a bit of a pause before you said yeah.
Because I'm not done acting. Because I'm a
You don't
performing
have to
artist.
stop and acting and become a producer.
You know why? I think this is what I enjoy the most.
Acting.
Yes,
Okay.
I like being in front of the camera. I like performing.
You like wearing anklets.
Anklets. And, no, it's not just about the anklets though, but it's part of my aharyam.
People
it's
have,
all
I'm
part
going to
of
see
the
a number of
acting.
times they've said anklets in this interview, and
Yeah,
going
yeah.
I have a serious fetish for
It's
this.
all
just like,
Bhargavi.
yeah.
So that's also a part of the performance, if you look at it.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that part of the whole film making process. But I think it is also very important to tell your stories,
Right.
and it's something I do aspire to do at a point. But I'm really not done acting. I mean, I'm really not done exploring, and I don't want this unfulfilled energy inside me when I'm going in quest of a new space and arena. So I'm definitely thinking in that direction, but yeah, maybe I'll, at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Tovino just spoke about how he's found his peace and become a better actor, from earlier. Do you also feel that, like over the years, you've kind of
No, I'm not at all at peace in that sense, because it kind of was taken away in between, and then I'm back at it, and when I got back, I got Santhoshത്തിന്റെ ഒന്നാം രഹസ്യം. Today I have a Bhargavi, and that I think for that I'm truly blessed.
yeah.
I'm saying I'm truly blessed. Like a Santhoshത്തിന്റെ ഒന്നാം രഹസ്യം being that one-shot movie that
Yeah,
it was.
80 minutes
Yes.
of- yeah.
As an actor, I think it pushed me to this very new space, and I indulged in it. And then when I got Bhargavi, I don't know how many actresses today can say that they've played an empty Anna Basheer character.
Yeah.
It's such a thing. I mean, it's just like he was saying, I've also done 4 films with Aashiq, like from a 22 female Kottayam to Rani Padmini to Virus to Neelavelicham. As a director, he's kind of really placed me and explored me in very, very different
Right.
roles.
Right.
So, yeah. and I think
and-
I'm very lucky that I'm doing this.
And this is also very, like, if I may say, quote unquote, actressy role, because
Yes.
you look a certain way,
Yes.
you're speaking a certain,
Yes.
like everything is so like
It's
you're not
cinematic.
Just, cinematic.
And it's the big screen, audiovisual treat.
Yeah.
It's got a soundscape. It's got the color theme. It's he's in the songs we did all these Ravi Verma references, and we went.
Yeah, right behind
Yeah.
it. Right behind it. So, yeah.
So it's a dream role like that for an act, like because I've been doing all these very it's called the Prakriti cinema roles here. Like for the longest time, which I totally enjoyed. That was that phase of Malayalam cinema. I think after COVID, people are expecting a larger than life movies. They want to see grandeur on the big screen. You see that with the KGF and RRR. I think people want to see that when they pay for that ticket and come and watch that in
Right,
theaters.
right.
I think that's what we wanted with Neelavelicham. We wanted an audio-visual treat.
Right.
You know, I think it's Aashiq's biggest film yet. You know, he went all out. Like, he had that vision and like anamorphic and but it was an audiovisual treat.
Right,
I mean,
no.
that is how we looked at it.
And it's really interesting because it's such an intimate story. Like unlike KGF or RRR, this is like a very intimate story, but like told in
But
that
it's-
ultra
See,
cinematic.
actually, see, when I told you that it's a multi-genre movie.
Right.
And after COVID and stuffs, the theater experience have become very important. So we have tried to bring that
Yeah.
big screen experience by using anamorphic lenses and Dolby Atmos and all those technical aspects into the film. And we have tried our best to give the audience a better experience. Yeah.
With whatever technologies are available.
It's available now.
Yeah. He likes to be modest about it, but I think, you know, we do the rest.
No, it has to be an experience nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Something we have, like it cannot be a dull movie.
Yeah.
Big people doesn't want to watch dull movies from
And this
theaters.
is not a dull movie. Then
Yeah.
back
It
in
needs-
64,
not
it was
this.
a
Not
huge
this,
hit.
Not this.
I'm talking about like
Anything.
people doesn't like they have decided to watch some kind of movies in
In
OTT
theater.
and some kind of movies in theater. So
It has become a community viewing and a personal viewing.
Yes.
If you like to, see the film with a community, people will choose the theaters.
for that, I believe this is a proper theatrical material because the audio, visual, musical experience and this horror, it's not definitely not jump scares, but this horror is
Yeah.
something that sends chills. And
And also the surreal Basheerian world. I think that is what is most exciting for
exciting.
me.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
surreal space is,
yeah, within few minutes, people will be into the
Very
movie and
romantic for
they'll be
me.
inside that world.
yeah.
And again, the original screenplay has sound script.
Oh.
yeah.
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 And he have written everything, colors. But back then, they couldn't do that. So when I read the script, I thought like, this is, everything is there.
Yeah, in real
Even
life,
the smallest detail of the sounds. Yeah.
like in real life, Basheer was supposed to be a huge cinema buff.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
read that. It was
Yeah.
like somewhere. He was like really into
Yeah,
films.
he was into films. He was into music. Everything.
Yeah.
So he was the one who wanted Madhusa to play Sahithyakaran in Bhargavi Nilayam.
But that
He
was his
wanted
choice.
Mamuka to play
Yeah.
Vaikom Muhammad Basheer in
Madhiligal.
Madhiligal.
Ah,
He was a fileman.
Like,
He used to have
built.
a build.
okay.
Quite an interesting.
Same wavelength.
So, just last words on Neelavelicham.
Please watch it in the theater.
Come on, that's not the last word. That's why we're doing this whole interview. It's like,
See, we don't have any claims. We, Neelavelicham, as a filmmaker, is the biggest experience as a filmmaker, and people should, or will enjoy this film in the theaters more than in, laptops or your
Mobile
TV.
phone. So
Yeah.
Because we have tried to make it a community viewing experience.
right.
Yeah. Rest is
That's just in Basheer Sands.
Actually, I was going to say that. See, as artists working in the film industry today, we are, enamored by what they did in the 1960s. These legends like from Basheer to Vincent sir, to Madhu sir, Prem Nasir sir, Vijay Nirmala, Babu Raj sir, Bhaskaran Mash. So it's kind of a tribute, to their legacy, to what Malayalam cinema has seen over the years, and it's very romantic for me in my heart. I'm not even going to the mind. It's so inside my heart, and we've like spent 6 to 7 months just on the shooting process, pre-production, post-production, and all separate. It's been like a year
Yeah,
year and more.
actually, April 20th, it's 1 year. We started
Exact
shooting.
one. Yeah, we started shooting.
We started shooting 1 year back.
Oh my
But
God.
Jyotish started set work
Set
2
work
months
even
before that.
three months
3 months
before
before that.
Wow.
So it's like a huge production like that for us. So it's
So it must be hard letting it go, no? It's just like,
Yeah.
are you good at that? It's like chapter closed, next movie.
This one.
No, I mean, is it easy letting movies go like that, or do you?
Yeah, otherwise you will be
Yeah, we'll
Stuck
be
here.
stuck somewhere.
here.
No, what I'm saying, is there an emotional, like, oh my God, it's over. Like I have to move on to the next chapter, or are you
No,
very
I
practical?
am very restless to release the movie. I'm done with the shooting. So I don't have that kind of problem with me. I'm attached only, while I'm doing it.
Final thoughts, Tovino.
From the responses we got from the songs and trailer, we believe there is definitely a set of audience who would love to watch this movie from theaters. So we were discussing about that. People, after watching the trailer, it's not a, it's an unusual trailer. It breaks the template. That's what I believe. That's what I
especially
felt.
after all the songs.
Yes.
They watch the trailer and they're like,
They're surprised. From the songs, they thought that this is this kind of movie, and from the trailer, they are amused. Okay, this is not what we expected. This is
Yeah.
something different.
So many people
People,
do
even
that.
the people who has already watched Bhargavi Nilayam, for them it will be a completely new experience.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to love this movie.
Yeah.
It's as far as an audience, when I look at this movie, it's aesthetically, technically brilliant, and people who has already watched the previews, they told me this personally. I haven't watched the movie yet. I want to watch it with the I want to watch the final output with the audience, and I want to look at their faces and watch the movie. Like, I want to know what they feel, the sound design, the visual experience. I want to look at their faces and enjoy them enjoying the movie.
Right. And let me just tell you from my viewpoint, what I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to is just watching a period movie after a while. For me, one of my most favorite. It's not even a major shot, but when you keep the letter on the compound wall
I
and
know.
he picks it up, and then the other person, it's like a world of letter writing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
yeah.
so. Just going back there,
Yeah.
from
this fast life
from
today,
this
it's
fast
like you
life
just
to
go
there,
back
it's like
60 years.
you just want to. And when I added that to, like, there's this scene in the trailer of him standing by the sea and that golden, like, that entire thing it just seems so calm, like another world. I think maybe that's what looking forward to, being transported to another world. So all the best, and
Thank you so much.
Thank
forward to
you.
the film.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.